Good evening, everybody. The time is 6:31 on June 28, 2022. We're at the Abington Conservation Commission meeting. I'm going to bump up to new business, the reorganization of the board first. I'll handle each position separately, so I will ask for somebody to make a nomination for chairman first.
I would like to make a nomination for chairman, Mr. Chairman. First, please, if I could.
Go for it.
I would like to reappoint Mr. Paul Baker.
There is no Paul Baker.
Bunker.
I'm not a good
I was
baker
thinking
either.
of Governor Baker at the time, but, all right, so Paul Bunker.
I'll second that.
And the reason being is because you've only been chairman for a short time, and I really would like to see you.
Doesn't seem like it's been a short time.
It has. I know. We've had some tough things, but I think that a chairman deserves a full year, and that would be, and you've been very good doing what you've been dealing with, and we've had some tough agenda items to deal with, so.
Thank you for accepting.
Hopefully
We really
they're behind
appreciate
us.
it.
Well, I didn't know I could decline.
Say what?
It's been seconded, take the vote.
All right, who made the second?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All
Mr.
right.
Chairman, I would like to nominate Tim Warner for vice chair.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Tom?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You guys want to switch seats now, or you want to wait till the next meeting?
Oh, you're supposed to, if we follow
No, I
selectmen's
didn't,
rules.
no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
No, if we follow selectmen's rules, that's what they did. Did you watch them when they did their reorg? They all of a sudden got up and started moving all around.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
See you next meeting, Paul.
All right, now we'll go back to old business. Notice of intent filed by Abington DPW Beaverbrook Playground Committee for rehab of Beaverbrook Playground located at 1 Ralph G. Hamlin Lane. Again, we're still waiting for DEP file number for that, and they've asked to be continued to the...
Paul, what's going on with the DEP file number? Did they not send their form in correctly, or?
I think they were missing a couple things, is what Tony told me.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Tony's out, so I don't know where it stands. I mean, it's been 2 months now.
When's our next meeting?
Yeah, when's that next meeting?
So that would be on the 12th, July 12th.
Just July 12th? Okay.
Yep.
Who's taking the minute meetings for tonight? Vice Chair?
Can't Tony watch it on video?
That's what she was gonna plan to do.
Oh,
So
I
just
didn't
review it
know.
after it
Yeah.
was recorded.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, I just didn't know.
You guys will never be able to read my handwriting.
You would have to type it out.
I wouldn't. I don't have a computer yet.
All right, so July 12th.
I won't
So
be
want to
here
make
for
a
that
motion?
meeting, just us.
Make a motion, we pass over the Beaverbrook project till next meeting on July 12th.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up is SE 084-0555, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation filed by Jim Lambert, WP East Acquisitions LLC, located at 0 Summer Street. LEC did their peer review. We sent over this report. I don't know when you guys got it. I think Mark sent it over last Wednesday or Thursday. And, Tony sent out an email to everybody, I believe, on Sunday afternoon, because the applicant sent, or their subcontractor sent over the responses with an updated plan. They sent it on Friday at like 4 o'clock.
Did we get it? Did
Town
I-
hall was closed, so
Okay.
Tony forwarded us the email there's an electronic file of the plan on there. And Tony's been out since Friday, so we haven't been able to get a copy of the plan, so
I saw documentation.
What?
I just saw the letter.
Yeah, I only
Maybe
saw
I
the
didn't-
letter.
That's all
I
I
didn't
saw,
I didn't
too.
remember seeing
Yeah.
the
yeah,
plan.
to me, there was an attachment on it,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna look at a set of plans on my phone or on a computer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of hard to do.
Yeah,
hard
and
to see.
especially where they needed to correct the plans. It
Right.
seems like we should wait.
Well,
and really
that's what
take
they
a good
did,
look
but
at-
I think we should be able to look at it
Right.
Look at
because,
it.
I mean,
full scale.
Yeah.
You want to discuss anything in the peer review findings first?
I thought they did a nice job, and they have some recommendations that we should probably adopt, at the end.
I agree with that too, because, he did identify a lot of areas that his recommendations, especially with regards to the pond,
Yep.
I don't know about the rest of you, but that's my neck of the woods, and I know my son growing up used to go down there with his friends and they'd catch shiners in there, but, I think they need to really get into a little more detail, more information is needed on a few of the things. And then intermittent stream, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take a look. Is it on the USGS map, the stream?
I really didn't even look at that.
Yeah. So we just need to be sure that it's intermittent, based on that guidance we just got. But,
Nicole, you
Nicole
can,
just came in.
if you want to get up,
We're discussing.
We're discussing.
we're discussing Zero Summer Street now.
Oh, okay. Hi. Sorry I'm late. Traffic is not so great.
Understandable.
See, I was in the car. Come here.
Sure.
Actually, this would be...
Oh, sure.
Go ahead.
I highlighted.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Nicole Hayes. Professional wetland scientist with Cotter Consulting. Here for the applicant with an ANRAD. As you know, it was peer reviewed. There wasn't any changes to the flags per se. He did have some suggestions on to change some of the labeling of the plan on the resources. He wanted this area in here to be labeled as a pond, and it does by definition meet the definition of a pond under the Wetlands Protection Act. So there is a pond located within BDW, so we noted that on the plan. He also mentioned that there is an intermittent stream channel located within the wetland located here. Because it's an interior wetland resource area, we don't typically delineate something out that is within an outer resource unless we intend to impact it. The applicant has told us that there will not be any proposed work on this part of the site. And if a notice of intent comes forward and say they change their mind and they want to impact the area, you have by every right to say, okay, we want that intermittent stream channel now flagged out, as well as putting in the ORAD that there was found to be an intermittent stream channel within this wetland, and you haven't okayed its boundaries, you haven't reviewed that as a portion of the ANRAD. That's typically, that's happened many times in other towns and places. The other item that he suggested is changing this to an isolated vegetated wetland because it doesn't border on another resource area. So with those changes, we did send the updated plan to him along with a letter that stated all these changes. So I guess with that said, we meet all the requirements under peer review, and we're looking for the ORAD with all due respect.
Have you done a calculation on the IOSF?
That area does not hold 6 inches of water, and it's not, I don't even believe it's large enough in itself to be calculated as nicely massive. Like, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not.
And And the intermittent stream, where does it start? And it seems to just end. Does it go somewhere?
I believe it just picks up at this, in here, it picks up here and it goes this way.
And where does it go after that?
Does it go onto the road?
What?
It might,
Going to the road?
it might just, you know, flow off towards the road.
Well, they said in the thing that it goes into the river.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it's a
Well,
tributary.
eventually, yeah, it might go into catch basins into the road, but it's labeled as a BVW, so it's, you know, it is still a BVW.
I think I would like to see the
Yeah, I'm reading it.
delineation of where it goes. It seems like it shouldn't just end. It ends like, you know, there's a space before you get to the road. It just kind of drops off. You should know where it
Well,
goes.
it would go into this catch basin. Because it's not gonna go,
Well, if it's going, this says it's going to the stream of Tuscan, so.
well, eventually, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
not gonna.
it's probably
doesn't-
going into a catch basin which drains and dumps into the,
You know, a catch
Right.
basin and an intermittent stream can be combined and classified as one, so.
Right, but this is a bordering vegetated wetland,
With
which
an intermittent stream.
interior to it, yes.
And that's a portion of the lot that's not going to be touched at all.
That is correct.
At the current.
In previous plans, it was being disturbed pretty significantly, so.
Right.
No, I thought it was up in this area,
No, that whole area down there was going to be a parking lot.
but
Yeah,
down in here.
yeah.
There
That was gonna be a
there was
big
pretty
parking lot.
disturbance From the plans I saw earlier.
From the zoning board, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically-
we haven't gotten the notice of intent yet, so
No.
I don't know.
What I saw from the plan that were provided to us and what I saw from zoning board of appeals meeting is just about every square inch of that property except for that pond was going to be impacted. So that whole area of the intermittent stream, interior to the bordering vegetated wetland, they've changed that since then. The original plans, I haven't seen the new plans, but that was a parking lot.
Yeah, I believe they must have changed it because I would not, I've talked to the engineers. I mean, my reputation also goes on the line with all this filings as well. I take it very seriously. And I asked the engineer, I said, okay, well, you know, with this finding, the commission may ask to flag out the interior resource area. And he assured me that no work would be done in there. And I said, okay, well, in a typical ANRAD, we can request that, you know, make a note in the ORAD that there is an interior intermittent stream channel within this wetland that has not been flagged out or approved by the commission. And also, if any work is to be done in this resource area in the future, that it must be flagged out. Because you need to know what kind of resource you're impacting.
Right.
But typically, you can go and have an ORAD written up with that language that specifies that out for your benefit. And he also mentioned that as well in his letter, the peer review agent.
Yeah.
So part of the issue we had before you came was, I don't think any of us had seen the plans or your letter, except Paul, because it came in so late that it didn't get to any of us.
Okay.
So I think we're,
Not prepared to ask a lot of,
Follow-up questions.
yeah.
Was he going to appear before us?
who, Mark?
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I mean, you can reach out and ask, but
I think it was in the estimate, though, wasn't
was it in the, I can go back and relook.
We actually asked him to appear tonight if it was in his scope of work because we wanted to discuss these issues and wanted to close tonight. He didn't get back to us, so.
We can look at his contract and find out, but again, I mean, this is my first time seeing this. I'm not even,
We saw one, but I understand there's been changes made that you've taken care of, and that's what you're showing here?
Yeah, I mean, none of the flags have changed, just the labeling has changed per the peer review letter. He wanted us to find out if this qualified as a pond under the Wetlands Protection Act, and it does. So we specified that as so on the plan. We did talk about this interior intermittent stream channel, and he wanted to change the classification of this wetland. Other than that, he didn't change any flags. So really the plan's not that different, just maybe some labeling.
Paul, we got a letter from one of the abutters, I think,
Yeah,
and it might be worth having that conversation too. Talking about what, she asked a bunch of questions.
yeah, I think a lot of them, though, wouldn't really need to be addressed until they come before us with the notice of intent, I think.
I just wanted to make sure we
Yeah.
acknowledged that we got correspondence.
Yeah, I reached out to her too, basically stating that.
Okay.
And I also said if she had any questions regarding the ANRAD we're discussing tonight, to reach back to me, and she hasn't gotten back to me with anything.
So really, other than that, nothing has really changed. I guess we're in agreement with peer review. We've done everything the peer review has asked us to do. We asked him to attend tonight.
The only issue is we haven't had time to review it. We got the email, Tony got the email on almost 4 o'clock on Friday. Town hall closes at 11:30. She sent it out to us on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. And me personally, I'm not gonna vote either way until I can actually look at a set of plans to scale
Okay.
to,
I understand that.
for the applicant's benefit and for our benefit as well.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think.
I agree.
I agree with
I
that too,
think
Paul.
so. I'd really like to read their response and really sit with both letters.
And maybe we can reach out to Mark too and get him to come to the next meeting.
I think
Right.
that would be helpful.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I really would like to know where the river goes. I think, I hear what you think, but I'd like to make sure that we
What I can
understand.
do is maybe next time, I'm hearing it next time, maybe bring like an aerial photograph and have it like outlined, just so you can visualize it.
That would be helpful.
Do you have any issue with us going out, if I want to go do a quick sidewalk, look for myself?
I don't, I'll have to
Just
ask.
just in that area, the corner where,
Like I said, I don't, I need to ask the applicant.
yeah, no, that's fine.
You can email so we can all,
Yep.
if we have an opportunity.
Yep, I'll ask him tonight.
Okay, thank you.
That's fair, thank you.
Do you want to continue to the July 12th meeting?
Yes, I guess that's what it sounds like, yes.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, let me open up to the public first. All right, I'll bring it back to the board. Any further discussion? Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue SC 084-0555 to the July 12th meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicole, do you want to stay for 0 Hancock?
Sure.
All right, that's next on the agenda, discuss enforcement order for 0 Hancock Street.
You skipped over 75.
Oh, I'm sorry, 75 Nile Street, request for a certificate of compliance located at 75 Nile Street. We still have not received the 2 as-built drawings.
Okay.
For that.
And there's a statement required, talking about the modifications. It's at the back of the certificate of compliance form that says that you need to, a professional needs to tell you whether it changed or was modified and how. So, if they added 2 feet to the porch or they moved something in a direction, it makes it easier for us to review. I'd also request, Paul, that when we do the certificate of compliance, I'd like to see the original
So you
at
can
the meeting.
compare- so you know
Like,
what,
if she can make sure, Tony can bring the original to the meeting so we can compare the original to what we get from the engineer. It usually makes it a lot faster to approve. Have we walked it?
Yes.
Yes, Tim, Alex, and I did.
Okay, all right. So do we need to continue the hearing?
Yes. So we'll continue that to July 12th, if someone wants to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to continue the request for certificate of compliance located at 75 Niles Street to the July 12th meeting.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, now, discussion of enforcement order for 0 Hancock Street.
Good evening, my name is Nicole Hayes with Cotter Consulting, here for the applicant. We had the site walk. There were some areas where we did install the erosion control. During the site walk, I asked for guidance on how to prepare the erosion control on one of the impact areas because it was flooded and humongous trees had come down. We talked about that. They requested 18-inch composite socks, which are a specialty order item. So I ordered that. They have now come in, and we have scheduled the rest of the installation of the erosion control for July 6th. I know exactly where they need to go per our site walk. I will be there personally to help guide the installation of the finishing off of the erosion controls. After that is done, a second site walk can be performed, and then we're going to do up a notice of intent, maybe an after the fact notice of intent for the impacts, and we're going to propose mitigation. So that's the progress as we're going right now.
Do we have a wetlands delineation?
I did delineate the land. It needs to be surveyed. That was the first thing that needed to be done. I believe it was GPSed and put on a plan. But we were focusing on the erosion controls to try to get that done first.
Okay, is this the
That's my sketch.
That's just your sketch, that's
Yeah.
really not the delineation that you
Right,
did with
right.
the GPS and the flag numbers?
Right, right.
So will we be getting that as well? Because
You will.
And
You will.
Will that come soon?
Yes, yep, that will come soon. That will come, I don't know if it will come before the notice of intent because we want to kind of get this rolling. We want to get this problem fixed. So with the notice of intent, you'll see where the wetland lines are, you'll see where the impact areas are, you'll see where the mitigation areas are. We have been toying with the fact, well, the applicant has been asking whether or not he can keep a roadway through there and mitigate those impacts somewhere else. I'm not sure. I mean, I can do up a notice of intent with that, and you guys can discuss and do that during that time frame, and, you know, that's totally up to the discretion of the board.
So can I ask for clarification on that? So he wants to keep a road, and by mitigate, he means replicate
Yeah,
on site?
yes. But it wouldn't be the same width. I mean, there's no reason for that.
Can we go back to the wetlands delineation? I'm a little concerned because I think we wanted to get Andrew Poyant from DEP out
Yeah.
there. And I think he needed the delineation
That-
before he'd get out there, so I think it's rather urgent.
Putting the cab before the horse.
Yeah, and my other comment would be is, I'm pretty sure that when I looked at it on the USGS maps, that, you know, the ponds connect to each other, and there's a river there, you know, it's cutting through there. It may, you know, it kind of flows out, but I think we may have, you know, we have a hydraulic connection, but I'm a little concerned that we have a perennial stream there as well.
According to the USGS map, which is the authority on perennial streams, there isn't a mapped perennial stream for that area. There is an intermittent stream, like you're saying.
But I think, you know, I'm concerned about, right now we're in a drought fortunately, but I am concerned that we're going to have a lot of flooding in Cleveland. The one that's up by the monks, that's Cleveland, right? I get these
That's
mixed up.
Cushing Pond, I
That's
think.
Cushing Pond.
Cushing,
Yeah.
okay. That one has a dam, and they can, the town owns the dam, it's like 100 years old, it's like a wooden thing.
Yep.
But, you know, if we end up with a lot of water like we did last year, it could be, you know, disastrous if we
Right,
don't get to this soon.
Culvert that runs
But
under Chestnut.
I really think we need the wetlands delineation ASAP, along with the erosion controls that you're putting in. They're kind of connected. And then we can get Andrew out there and get this thing fixed. I mean, we want to get it fixed just like you do.
Right, well, okay, I will push for the wetland resource plan faster than,
Yeah.
I guess, that we were thinking, but yes, I will.
That
push
would be,
for
I think that would be really advantageous for, we can get the plan in your, your delineation notes.
Yeah, I think we could probably get that by next meeting.
Yeah, it sounds like if you've done it already and you've GPSed it, you're pretty
Yeah,
close.
yeah.
Yes, once you send it over, we can copy, send it to Andrew and then set up
Yeah, no,
a
we-
site walk.
I think that's, I think that
We need a
will
site
make
walk.
this go faster.
And
No, it
delineation.
needs to go fast.
Yeah, I actually think we're a little slow.
Sorry, yeah, I mean, from June 8th to July 8th.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
We had to wait a little while for the specialty 18-inch soft, but it's in now.
But they're in now, you have them, but you want to wait another week. We're getting a substantial amount of rain supposedly on Saturday.
It's,
You know, I mean, we've allowed, that's almost a month after it was supposed to be done.
I know, it's tough with, the subcontracting schedules and, oh, yes, I understand you.
Are these 18-inch ones, are they biodegradable? Are they going to have to be removed at some point?
They have a biodegradable mesh, and it's the bark mulch that's inside like the other.
Okay, so but is there plastic and stuff holding
No.
it together? No, so that's good.
They're the
I
green
just
one-
wanted to
they're
ask.
The green one, yeah. No,
Because
it's,
sometimes we get.
What they're using is-
The dog park has the
Yep.
wrong ones, so, I just wanted to ask.
so what they're using is the best application,
Great.
or best for that
And,
application.
They sound pretty substantial, so I think they'll be good.
so will it be installed on the 6th, which is before the next meeting. We'll have the site walk before the next meeting. I'll have the plan for the next meeting, if not before, and then we can talk about it again, both properties.
I'd like to have somebody out there on the 6th.
I agree.
Is anybody available?
I'll go.
I'm on vacation, unfortunately.
I'll go.
I'll go.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but
Let's do it.
unfortunately.
Do it again.
You want to go with me?
I will be too.
All right, let's do it.
What day is this?
It doesn't matter to me.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
July 4th is on a Monday.
Come on, Liddy, you haven't been out there.
Yeah, I know, I want to see it.
Yeah.
I definitely want
I
to see it.
would-
And I'm not going to be here
On the 12th.
on the 12th because family from Australia coming, so.
I would like to go, I can't make that one.
Okay.
But
What time?
if we have a second sidewalk, I'd like to go. I'll be back from vacation.
I just want to make sure they get put in the,
The right place.
and Tim, I know Tim from the last site walk knows where they're supposed to go.
And I am a little concerned about the roadway thing, but I think right now we just need to get the delineation and the socks in, and then
Yeah, gotta
work
get it
through the rest of
stabilized.
this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we need to do this stepwise before we
And then
get
it
there.
needs to be restored. So
Yeah, it
you-
has to be, we've
that's-
got to fix
that's
all
the
of
most
this.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, that first crossing was decimated. I mean, you had cattails on, and so you know.
She-
Well, she's been out.
She's not
trying to fix
personally
it.
responsible.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm not a wetland scientist, but I do know if cattails are
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
that you've got a pretty significant
Yeah.
pool.
So if you could let us know as soon as you know when you're going to have the plan, because we'd like to get Andrew out there as soon as possible.
No, and Andrew wants to go out there as soon
Yeah,
as
so if
possible.
you can get that plan to us before our next meeting, we might even be able to get
Okay.
Andrew out
And we
there.
don't have the environmental police report as yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, all right, thank you.
All right,
you.
thank you very much.
Nicole.
Yeah, I don't need to vote on anything.
All right, next up, request for certificate of compliance for 151 Dorsey Street.
I'm sorry, what did we do?
If anybody get a
151
chance to look
Dorsey.
at the two as-bills.
We don't,
I did look at it.
I didn't.
It's right there.
But I think we need a sidewalk on Dorsey Street.
Alex?
So I driven by there. It looks like everything was put back completely. They got everything growing in the wetlands. There was trees knocked over. They were cleaned up. The silt sock is still in place on where they built the wall. They put some nice wood chips, looks like in.
I like the wood chips. I drove by it too.
Oh, did you? I have not been out there.
So on the other side of the silt sock, they put the wood chips. It looks pretty stabilized to
So
me.
do we have
Silt
the,
sock is just some chips, and then silt socks here, I found it there too.
yeah, is there something, is there a wetland in the back or not?
There's a wetland boundary here. Looks like they did a replication. Can you tell me about what that looked like?
So it basically there was a bunch of bushes that were already existing before they were building. It's basically undisturbed from everything's grown back in
We
that
usually
area.
wait 2 years for a wetland replication, and we need to see that there's 75% of that has grown, and we probably need a statement about it from the applicant. But did we do replication? I mean, I don't remember this one. I probably wasn't.
It was before my time, but it says
I think we-
wetland
I
replication
think we need
area.
to,
Is that the same business before you, or was it before?
I don't recall.
Is that the same
this
one?
coming
You wanna,
from.
you wanna get up and speak? You wanna get up and speak on,
Are you here?
can you answer any questions on when it came before the board?
The engineer went out and we did all the thing, and grass is growing, and the fence is in, and we pulled out the trees and stuff that were down in the wetlands by hand, cut them up, clean that all up. So we didn't actually go into the wetlands at all.
I think this is just another one of, well, first of all, I had a problem with the agenda, the one we received, all of us received, it wasn't on the agenda, it was just
Posted downstairs.
discussion, yeah, it was only on the one that was published
I think she made a
online.
mistake and I told her about it and she corrected it.
She corrected
But I
it.
think she forgot to give it.
Give it to us, but
Should already
we
printed it
need a
out.
statement from the engineer, like I said the last time, saying what got modified, it sits at the back of the certificate of compliance, and I really think it would just be helpful if we could pull out the original file and know what they were supposed to be doing, and then compare. Because I didn't know there was replication there when I went by there, I didn't understand that. If there's not replication, great, that makes it easy, but if there's replication, we usually need a little more information to make sure it's been established before we approve.
Is there
Was
actual
there
replication?
I don't know.
No,
I'm
because if you look
confused.
at, no, if you
I
look
live on Dorsey Street, I'm not on a butter.
Uh-huh.
However, from passing that site, it is a million times in better condition than it
Yeah.
was prior to the construction.
I'm sure it was. I
Yeah,
understand
but-
that, but that's still, we still need to
the
try to
the
follow the
replication
rules.
has a different DEP file number.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
So that must be from something
it was probably from
previous.
the rest of the development,
It
perhaps?
does-
It's probably
yeah.
from the road.
Yeah.
SE 0844436, and this is 546, so that was
Oh.
done way before, so that, the replication
Oh,
has
so you
nothing to do with
cleared
this.
that up at least.
Yeah,
So what,
So that's not.
So this is just-
That's been done.
that doesn't,
That doesn't
Yeah.
pertain.
Right, you didn't do any sort of replication, you had nothing.
no. Yeah.
So that filing's probably
Yeah,
when they installed this.
yep.
I'm not too thrilled with the wood chips. I don't like wood chips in a wetland, so I just think vegetation. But
But you know what?
it looks clean.
What's inside of a compost tube is wood chips.
Yeah, I get it, but it just, it's one of those, we all put them there to
It's not,
retard growth.
as long as it's not hay. That's,
But,
Unless you try to put a lawn
so
in.
the one thing we're still missing is the statement that we need about whether anything was modified. If you read the back of the certificate of compliance signature form that they submit, I will probably read it to you.
Oh, do I wonder if I have them?
I had one, I didn't bring it yet. Is this one? It's pretty simple. It says, if yes, attached a written statement by such a professional certifying substantial compliance with the plans and describing what deviation, if any, exists from the plans approved by this order. So we still need the engineer's statement or the land surveyor's statement, whoever did it. And I think then it will be complete and we probably will have a chance. I looked at it, it looks pretty. It looks nice, but I'd just like to make sure that we have everything.
If that's what we're required to do, and that's what it's...
It's on the form.
Yeah, so
They're supposed to submit it. So
That's
I
wrote,
wrote,
Yes.
it's the form that got submitted by Abington Investments. It's
So
on
what do
there.
we need?
They have to write a statement, the engineer or the surveyor, saying what has changed from what they submitted originally. Or they say that nothing changed, which sometimes is the case. But sometimes they add a porch or they do
Well, they have to move
something.
the foundation a foot
They move it
of
because
rock or
something's
something. Yeah, I know.
funky, there's reasons, usually it's nothing big, but I think it's an important thing to note. And that way we have the documentation, that's all.
Not only that, but I remember once in a training session with Andrew says a lot of times with paperwork, we have a tendency, and he sees it a lot, that it's not completed the way it's supposed to be completed. Do you remember him saying that?
Yeah, it protects the owner as well.
It's good for him, it's good for us, and it's good for the applicant,
Yeah.
so, I mean,
That's all. I think we just asked
I
them to
remember
do
him
that.
pointing that out at a training session though.
Yeah, I'm gonna submit that, and we all, hopefully we'll get a look
Still,
at the
can we
drawing.
still
Could I
approve
see the
tonight?
drawing?
Or deny it?
I drove by it, but I didn't see the drawing.
Can I look at it with you?
I think we
Of
just
course.
have to continue until we get the information.
So, show me.
So, this is the house
Yeah.
that they built. This is the...
replication.
Yeah, the replication, but it's under another
That's the,
another
the
filing, so we don't have to
replication's
worry
got
about
nothing to
it.
do with this.
All right.
It just
Okay.
says it on the plan, which
Okay.
is why we were also confused.
But it's here, the
Yeah,
silt
There's silt sock is here, and
Yeah,
there's a wall, and this is a silt sock.
Okay.
And, we didn't leave our typical separation there, but I think that will change as time goes on. And
everything's
it looks,
going in over
I mean,
here.
as I see the plan, it looks like that.
I can just,
Yeah.
So
And
can we
it-
approve
it-
subject to
Yeah.
them doing
It looked, I
Yeah.
thought it looked fine.
Okay.
From
I'll see
a-
what the difference is, whether we do that.
From a drive-by?
From a drive-by, but I didn't
can't we-
get up and
No,
walk the
because
property.
we need that piece of,
Oh,
we
yeah.
need the paper, I mean,
I know, but I
That's
think
all.
now-
We just
Yeah.
need the piece of paper and then we should be done. So we can get whoever did the work to, we can get somebody to just submit the certification, we should be done.
So we need the written statement, and you also want the previous,
I want to look at the previous filing at the next meeting, but I'd like to do that with every certificate of compliance. I think it would be helpful for all of us, just to see the before and afters. And sometimes it's not a big deal, and sometimes there's some significance.
I mean, if we're going to be thorough, we might as well.
and there shouldn't be significance, because otherwise they'd have to come before us.
Correct. You
For a-
don't, you would hope that they follow
would
the plans closely. A couple of feet here and there, I don't usually complain about it. But I have seen people add like a garage or a driveway. Wasn't supposed to be there.
Well, you can take out the silt sock now too, right? I mean, if it's established, I mean,
It's just a matter of where the replication
Yeah.
is, the replication area. He may
did
want
you
to
put
leave
in
it
this,
there.
did you put the erosion control in, or was that there as part of the, whoever?
There was one there before.
Okay, okay.
So you might want,
So
I
then leave it alone.
think we might want to leave
Leave
it
it
and
alone,
let the
yeah.
replication area grow.
Okay.
so for that particular DEP number, was there a certificate of compliance issued
Don't
for
know.
that?
Then you have to get a look into it.
At this point, it's probably 5 years prior to any of us, if not longer.
Well, this is the issue with all the open certificate of
Yeah.
compliances
Right.
that we have. This is a perfect example of one that, I mean, it's probably all complete, but they didn't file it for the roadway, and it's going to hold somebody up who wants to sell their house at some point.
Yeah, but it's
But it'll be-
not gonna hold him up from us
No.
approving this once he gets the paperwork. That's
No,
got nothing to do with
Right. But,
this DEP file number.
but it is pointing out the same problem.
Yep.
Right.
I guess we continue it for the paperwork?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a motion.
I'll make a motion
can't.
for the certificate of compliance for 151 Dorsey Street to be continued until the meeting on July 11th. 12, excuse me, for July 12th.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up is discussion on the conservation checklist.
I love it.
It is a good document, and it's through a lot of input from Kathy and Lynn, because when I first started it, I was kind of like gleaning information from others.
No, I think it's, you did a nice job, Jean. And we can, you
It
know,
should help Tony a lot and streamline the last-minute submissions that she gets that, you know, we can't do a lot with. I mean, they know upfront from the beginning what's going to be required, what we need, what we're looking for.
and as we use it, and as she uses it, I'm sure we'll have some modifications to it, but I think until we implement something, we're not going to know how it works. That's all.
It would
But I think
certainly
it'll-
be better for, say, Nicole, who came in and we got a plan Friday, 4 PM.
Right.
Haven't even had time for anybody to look at it.
Right.
This would prevent that
Yeah.
issue, and she wouldn't have to drive from, I guess, she's in Western Mass.
Yes, she is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that
It's
would
a
be
lot, it's a lot.
helpful for everybody.
Did anybody have any comments on it?
I think we got most of it out of the way, we just wanted to wait because Tim wasn't here for the last meeting in case
Oh,
he had any opinions.
I don't know if Dan reviewed it when he was here the last one. Yeah, he did get a copy.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. We all got it.
Well, he was there when we had the discussion, I believe. All right.
But I think it, you know, what I've seen over time is that our applicants oftentimes don't like, they'll have replication, but they won't include the replication plan. And so this will solve that they
So
know
we
they-
won't have to keep continuing.
Right, well, and it's expensive for them to continue to have their consultants come and have all this stuff missing. Like Dale Street probably should never have come to us as soon as it did without the stormwater being in the package. Like, we probably wouldn't have, under this, we would have waited for the whole package to be together before we did it. And so they would have had less meetings, which I think would be helpful for the applicants and for us too.
And there's something on the checklist too where they have to show that they've gone before the other boards, before they come to us, because
Yeah,
we don't touch stormwater.
we try not
Planning board,
to. Yeah, I mean, we have jurisdiction over it, but it's certainly with the stormwater board and
Yeah.
the planning board and their engineer, makes way more sense
Yep.
for them to review it first.
So we want to plan on voting on that, adopting that at the next meeting, or voting to adopt it or not adopt it?
We adopt it tonight if nobody has any comments?
It's posted as discussion on checklist.
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah.
We can just change that at the next meeting and
Yeah,
vote yea or nay.
sounds good.
All right, next up, discussion of permit fees. Same thing, I think we just kind of, well, we can't vote on it until the second July meeting, but I think we wanted to keep it on the agenda in case Tim, since he wasn't at the last meeting.
And that one is that we have to put a public meeting up, don't we?
Yeah,
So are we going to post the public meeting now?
Tony's worked on that the last meeting, yeah.
Okay, all right, good, good. So once that's up, I think it's 30 days.
Yep, so it ended up being the July 26th meeting.
Cool. That'd be great. That will be good.
So July 12th and 26th are the next two
We can still
meetings.
I will
discuss it
be.
at the
Oh,
next
I
meeting.
I just won't be at the July 12th.
All right.
Yeah, you just leave it on the agenda for discussion in case something comes up. That's cool.
But like we talked about, to me, I think it's just, like Rich was saying too, is go with our neighbor, go with what they have.
Well,
I think it's
Do you have a copy of it, Tim?
it's simpler
I
that
don't
way.
actually
and,
know.
You know, if you start going off, so this is what West Bridgewater has, this is what Weston has, this is what all these other, they're gonna say, why are we doing that when Rockland does this?
Well, and I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Rockland's was pretty thorough.
Yep.
And I think it was reasonable. I mean, most of them were pretty close when I looked at them. And we have the opportunity, you know, it's not like it's set in stone. We can go back and revise it in 6
Right.
months or a year if we find that we think something's not right or we don't like it. So it's not like we can't go back and fix things. But I like that we're, you know, adopting Rockland's. But they looked very similar, but I thought Rockland's was actually more detail, which I thought was great.
It was detailed but easy to understand.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
In comparison to some of the other ones.
Right, especially
Yeah.
the ones that go by square footage, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah,
oh,
my head was hurt.
that was a lot of calculation, I'm like,
Yeah, and we want to make it straightforward.
right,
And
not difficult, but
And we're doing what is comparable in other towns near us, so,
Correct.
you know, we're not being silly about anything, or being racist. I think we're being reasonable.
right.
Well, like you said, Rich, at the last meeting, this is not going to be a surprise to anybody because they're not just working in Abington, they're working in,
Right.
Correct.
surrounding towns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, included with that Excel sheet was the Massachusetts DEP instructions and supporting materials that show that their rates are sitting right there at the same dollar amount, so it's
Yeah, and we haven't
pretty
raised
clear.
our fee in many years. Since
You told us.
I told you before.
How old is your daughter?
She's 32.
No, but I mean at the time that you wrote them.
She's 32.
Wow. What's the rate of inflation?
And then I think,
Over 32
I think 5
years?
years later, we upped them a little bit, so she was in kindergarten.
Okay.
But, yeah, that was, I think, the last time it got raised. So I think it's very reasonable. And it would be really helpful for us to be able to afford to get an agent, and this will probably help us do that. That'll probably be the next thing we should look at, is how we do it.
Right.
Whether we can add the position at a fall town meeting, or whether we have to wait till spring. We should probably start thinking about that next.
Yeah, which is a good thing, because with even part-time conservation agent, a lot of what we've spent our time on and peer review time on should be able to be handled in-house.
Yeah, and I just think it'll make our jobs all a little more straightforward.
It should streamline everything even more.
Streamline everything even
Yeah.
more, and we'll have somebody who can actually pop out to an emergency site during the day,
Exactly.
rather than try to find a couple of commissioners who are available right away. That'd be great.
All right, any other discussion on permit fees?
All right. I'm sorry?
Any other further discussion on permit fees? All right, next up, building permits and site visits. I haven't seen any building permits in the past 2 weeks. Tony did email me on Friday. There's a resident at 20 Barry Road that's looking to put in a fence, and part of the fence is going to be near wetlands. They wanted to see if they could put the whole fence in. I didn't know if somebody wanted to take a
Where's
site...
Barry Road?
That's off Shore Ave.
Oh,
No, somebody wanted to
Behind high
go over
school?
and take a look at it.
Barry Road.
20 Barry.
How do you spell it? B-A-R-R-Y.
You want to just email Tony so she can set it up right? I don't know if I have the...
I would like to go.
yeah, I can go this week. I've been gone on Saturday, but if we could do it someday this rest of this week, I'd be happy to go look.
I'm good.
Thursday night.
Thursday night is good.
Party.
You gotta be... You can't have more than 3,
Yeah.
though.
Oh,
Well, I'm an
yep.
associate,
All right.
Right.
so,
Oh, you
Yeah.
go. I went on Hancock. You go with this one.
Okay.
All right.
Thursday?
What's the address?
20 Barry
Barry
Road.
Road.
Thursday, say like 5? Does that work for you guys, or?
Yeah, that should be fun.
You know where Shore Ave is? You know where, if you go past Truffi's and you're heading down 18 and that flashing light, intersection of the medical, eye doctor, dental, go the opposite direction. Katie Van Ness lives down off Shore Ave, but Barry Road would be your first left.
Oh, okay. I know, yeah.
It's right behind the high school fields.
Oh,
Kids
yeah.
walk through there and
I
cut
know
through there.
that.
Okay.
What's that?
Yeah, I can take it.
Yeah, it's
No.
cool.
Go around
What's that, in the middle of
20
the shop?
Barry. Yeah.
20 Barry, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
20.
in the middle?
After
Barry?
five.
If we go around 5-ish.
So what-
then
what
I
day do you
can
guys wanna
take
shoot
me-
for?
me-
Thursday at 5
Thursday,
o'clock?
5 o'clock?
This Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Tony's not back, so let me try and reach out to her and see. So
Okay.
Thursday,
That'd be great.
5 p.m.
Or we can do it next Thursday.
Yeah, let's try to do it this week if we can. The weather's supposed to be good.
Oh, I hear 4th of July is going to be hot, hot, hot. The weather advisories have already come out.
If we can't do it this week, what day next week works? Thursday, 5 p.m.?
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Let me just see.
100-degree with humidity. So,
Should I go on the site walk if I'm not going to be at the next meeting?
What day was that?
Yeah, it's still
Would
cool.
that be the 7th?
I mean, they want to just put up a fence, I don't think it's like we're gonna make them file an NOI or anything like that, it's just whether
No,
they're
you
gonna
can
come in
just
for
type up
an
something
RDA
to be
or...
read.
Yeah, whether they need a request for determination or what they want to do.
Yeah.
I think we just need to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Glad they called before they did it.
That was very good.
Yeah, so either Thursdays, this week or next will work for me. But not for you?
Not for me, the next.
Not next, okay.
You want to shoot for next Wednesday then, or?
Next Wednesday's the 0 Hancock Street,
Yeah.
July 6th.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, the 7th makes sense. Then
Okay.
just do it.
So we're
I
gonna
may
do
be
the
back.
7th of next Wednesday? Next
Well,
Wednesday?
If the
we'll see if
30th doesn't work.
if this Thursday works.
Do we have enough people to go this Thursday if need be?
Yes.
We don't want too many people to go.
Right, no, that's what I'm asking. I am available, so if somebody can't go,
Yeah.
Same here, if somebody
we don't want to
cancels,
have
let me
an
know.
official meeting.
All right, that was it for site visits. Well, on Sunday, I took a walk with the Open Space Committee to some town-owned property that they're thinking about potentially using for a town forest. Nice area, very wet area, very hilly area, very rocky area. So, we'll see what comes of it.
Good to know. Saw your picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't want my picture on Facebook.
It was a good picture, though.
It was a very good picture. You with the open space people and Dan. Well, Dan took the
And I
picture.
did not get any poison ivy from it.
That's a good
It
thing.
was all over the place, too.
Yeah.
All right, there's no meeting minutes to approve, and correspondence, Tony attached, right, I guess it's gonna be on the agenda for the next meeting, about some National Grid work.
So could we have Tony do a check on this with the new checklist, just to, oh, she might not be back.
Yeah.
If she's back, it would be really fun for her, not fun, but I think it would be a good exercise to take the checklist and look at this, because
Well,
it's
yeah.
probably pretty complete. They
Yeah.
usually do a nice job, but I
Oh, you mean just to basically
take that,
see what they've done?
see what they've done against the checklist so that she's starting to get comfortable with
Yeah.
checking stuff for completeness. I think that that would be helpful. And she might have some comments that she needs some changes, so.
Sure.
I think that that would be really helpful.
It's a good
Start
idea.
getting used to it.
Yeah, yeah. And usually when this complete TRC submits stuff, it's usually pretty complete.
Well, it'll probably take a little bit of time for everybody to get adjusted to that, so I think if there's,
Yeah.
2 pairs of eyes
Yeah.
for the first couple until
Yeah.
people get used to it.
I think we'll probably
That'll
do
be
it
good.
too, but
But I think that's a great idea as
just, it's kind of like practice.
The practice
Before we
one.
get it in,
Yeah.
get it into the system.
And what do they say, it takes 2 weeks to get used to a new system anyway, so,
Yeah, it'll
before
take
you
longer.
get acclimated?
Yeah.
It'll take more than
Well,
that.
yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for correspondence. Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Wow!
All those in favor?
Aye.
Less than an hour.
That was quick.